Hey, what's going on, everyone? So, I'm in the car because I'm at the laundromat, so it's kind of a little weird for me, but I'm outside for once. But I just want to make a quick video because I've been looking up a lot of stuff about Marathon, right? I'm not going to lie to you, I'm excited for it. I've been looking forward to Marathon for a minute just because I've wanted to get into extraction shooters, but they're kind of hard to get into to begin with, because a lot of them are rough, right? And seeing a new IP from Bungie, not really new, but something that I do care about Marathon. I do care about the original trilogy a lot. And I know a lot about the lore and stuff like that. I'm really into it. Y'all might know I have a collective maybe 8,000 hours on Destiny 1 and 2. I still play to this day. And then on top of that, we have Halo. I was a kid when those games were out, so, you know, I've got a lot of hours on those too. I have at least, I'd say probably 2,000 hours collective across all of those games, playing multiplayer and campaigns and stuff, doing the legendary runs. All that's to say, I'm not understanding why everyone, and I wouldn't say everyone, but a vast majority of people are just automatically shitting on the game, shitting on the new Marathon, and shitting on any YouTuber that says it's good. Now, what sparked this initially is the fact that I keep watching videos from like Hidden Xperia, which, if you know, Hidden Xperia is a very respected Halo YouTuber, and he makes a lot of Halo content. Marathon is made by Bungie, and it's in kind of the Bungie verse, so he's covered some of that stuff, and he was one of the main people who's been playtesting it over the past couple years, doing the alpha and stuff. Now, recently we got a big alpha reveal, gameplay reveal, and story reveal for Marathon and a release date, and like I said, people are just shitting on it. The main things that people are saying is it's not faithful to Marathon, it's just AAA slop, it's going to be a sloppy game, they're just following trends, all this and that. I'm not understanding why we're being so hateful. I understand an objective approach, right? Even I'm a little bit cautious about it, and other people are cautious about it, because we don't know what the game is going to be like on release. We've only seen the alpha footage, and I've signed up for the alpha as well, for the closed alpha that's coming up on the 23rd, but none of us have played it. We've only seen YouTubers play it, we've only seen streamers play it, and we've only seen Bungie showcase, so we don't know. But at the same time, if you watched any of the material, if you watched any of the stream, the reveal stream, or the VODs afterwards, or the YouTuber gameplay videos, it doesn't look bad. It doesn't look bad at all. It's objectively, as a video game, it doesn't look bad. Oops, I rolled down the window on accident. And as a Marathon game, it doesn't even look that bad. I don't understand why people are so hateful about it. The main thing that I see is a lot of people are like, oh, they're killing Marathon. Now Marathon's going to die, and Destiny is trash, and Halo's been trash the past couple of years. And a lot of people are saying that it's just not faithful to the originals, and it's not what they remember. I'm going to be honest with you, right? Marathon came out 30 plus years ago. More than 30 years ago. 1993, I think, was when the first Marathon came out. I know for a fact that the second Marathon Durandal came out in 1995. I know that because I was just playing it this morning. People say it's not faithful to the games, it doesn't look the same, all this and that. That came out 30 years ago. If you have legitimately played Marathon when it came out, and you're a faithful fan of it, and you were playing Marathon when it was current, or when it was a thing, or even 10 years after the game came out, that would place you between like 35 to 45 years old. And I'm saying that because, I mean, you could have been alive in 1993, but were you conscious and enjoying the game as much as you are conveying at that time? That would mean that you would have to be at least 10 to 12 years old, at the very least, to be enjoying the game like that. Remember, Marathon was Mac exclusive. On top of that, it was the very first shooter to use the mouse to aim. Doom and Wolfenstein, those games use the keyboard. You use the arrow keys to aim. And there was no looking up and down and things like that. That was, Marathon revolutionized that stuff. Sprinting and all that stuff. But still, if you watch gameplay or you play the game, tell me how you would make a game currently like that, right? Now you would say, oh, well, Halo had great story and 3D environments and graphics and stuff like that. What about that? Y'all don't like Halo, right? Y'all don't like playing Halo. Or y'all didn't play Halo. Or this and that. The reason why I'm bringing up all this stuff is because it's people my age turning around and saying that this isn't a faithful game, this isn't faithful to Marathon, where's the story at, where's this, where's that? Off of just looks, off of a reveal trailer. Bro, we don't know. We haven't seen this stuff yet. And I'm not understanding why everybody is being so hateful. They're saying the game is like legitimate shit. And that it's not going to be good. That Bungie's fallen off and all this and that. How do you know? Like, bro, I'm guaranteeing, I'm telling you, if you are 45, if you're 35 to 45 years old and you're talking about games like this, first of all, why do you even play games? If you're that negative about it and you're that old, why even care about it? Second, if you're not that old and you're around my age, that means that you just recently got into Marathon. I highly, highly doubt that you were 12 years old playing Marathon at all. If anything, you were probably playing Halo Reach. That was probably your first multiplayer Halo. That was probably your first multiplayer experience with Halo. So I don't understand where that's coming from. The next thing that I want to talk about is people saying, oh, the punch animation was straight from Destiny. I'm going to tell you this, right? You might want to sit down for this information because it's probably going to blow your ass apart if that's how you're thinking about it, right? The Titan punch from Destiny is the melee from Halo. The melee from Halo is kind of an homage to Marathon. All made by the same people. In Marathon, the melee was a punch. In Halo, a lot of the weapons that you use, you punch. If you're using the Magnum or something like that, you punch. That's not a new thing. That's faithful to the games. It's got a slower play style. Marathon, the new Marathon 2025 is supposed to have a slower play style because it's an extraction shooter. Marathon wasn't really that fast. You did kind of move fast if you knew how to use the momentum system and stuff like that for melees. If you didn't know, you probably didn't. If you're one of these young bloods that say that you love Marathon and the lore and stuff like that, you probably didn't know that you could sprint and build up momentum and you can end up one-punching some of the enemies because you retain the momentum and you do more damage like that. It was the same thing in Halo. And in Destiny, you don't necessarily do that off the rip, but that's where the shoulder charge comes from. Destiny and Marathon, for sure, are kind of in the same alignment. If you care about lore and stuff like that, you can look up Bungie's Paraverse or whatever, that whole theory about multiverse stuff and how they're all connected and things like that. But I promise you, based off that cinematic story trailer alone, this is definitely faithful to the games, right? This new Marathon is set 98, 99 years after the first events of Marathon, the original ones. And if you watch that cinematic trailer, the story cinematic trailer, the very first couple seconds is them showing the attack of the Marathon and the simultaneous attack, the scrapping of the surface of Tau Ceti when the Four attacked the Marathon ship. It's all there. And if you listen to any of the dev talks or any of the dev interviews, they talked about the stories there. Environmental storytelling is one of the major aspects of Halo and Marathon. Destiny is kind of different with all the lore cards, and you can directly read lore and learn things about the Destiny universe off the website and in the game with the Grimoire. But aside from that, Marathon told its story through the environment. If you played Marathon, and like I said, I played Marathon 2 this morning. One of the things on Lawan, the Sphit homeworld, one of the alien races in the game, the Sphit homeworld Lawan, you can find terminals from the perspective of the Sphit that give insight into what was going on while the events of the first marathon were happening, the events leading up to that, the events afterwards, why they were enslaved by the Four, all of this stuff, you find them on the terminals. How much different would that be in the extraction shooter environment, right? If you've ever played an extraction shooter, you're not fighting constantly all the time. It's not a battle royale. For some reason, people keep talking about it like it's Apex Legends or Fortnite. You don't load in and go find weapons and start fighting people. That's not how it works. There's a lot of times where you don't even interact with people at all. I've been playing the Delta Force extraction shooter mode for the sake of getting ready for Marathon, because like I said, I don't have much experience in them. I've barely seen anybody. I've seen 3 people. Out of the 20 or so games that I've played so far in the last week, I've seen 3 people. I killed 2 of them, and the third one destroyed me. They had a whole team on my ass. But I played it solo. And in that game, I walked around. You could see things in the environment. You can see stories. You can do missions that progress the story, and you learn more about the factions in the game. You learn more about the environment. This is made by Bungie, bro. Marathon is made by Bungie. You don't think that they're going to have environmental storytelling? You don't think that you're going to find a terminal with some explanation and with some lore in it? And another thing that people keep talking about, right, is it's a hero shooter. Not really. It's more like classes, right? And I'm going to give my headcanon real quick. This is my theory, right? Because I've played Marathon, I've played Destiny, I've played Halo. I'm an avid fan of all of it. And I will tell you this is my theory, right? The runners are already preset, and we already saw that you can have more than one kind of runner on the team, and also everybody else is pulling from the same runners. We also heard from Bungie themselves that it's not us controlling them and we aren't the runners, but instead our subconscious is divided up amongst, like, it's in machinery. We don't have a physical form anymore. We're digitized. Our conscience is digitized, so we're just controlling these runners. They're not a person in and of themselves. They're models. The runners are different models of the avatars that you can control to do your job as a runner, right? Because we have a job, collecting the loot, bringing back artifacts, and things like that. That is our job. So, that being said, you're not playing that character. You're not seeing the perspective. You're not seeing the story through their perspective. And one of the things that I could say backs up that theory is when you watch the cinematic trailer, right? Glitch is talking to the AI, and the AI gives her a picture, and it says, "Do you recognize this child?" She says, "No, I don't recognize it." That's you, is what the AI says. Later on, at the end of the trailer, I think the dude's name is Void. I don't remember what the operator is, but the invisible operator is at the end of the trailer, and he gets the same picture of the same child. The AI says, "Do you recognize this child?" The runner says no, and they say, "That's you." Again. So that brings me to think, that same conscience, that same person that was controlling Glitch is also controlling Void. When the time comes after Glitch had died and they lost the runner, their new runner was Void. And being able to pick the different models of runners, because they're just vessels. They're barely synthetic. Or they're barely organic, excuse me. They are mostly synthetic. They are barely organic. So, all of this is just to say, can we chill? I understand going crazy about Call of Duty. I understand going crazy about the new Assassin's Creed, not being faithful to the series and stuff like that, because you can't even one-shot melee. But how much do y'all know about Marathon to say that it's faithful? The only things that Marathon had compared to the new one is being able to shoot guns, having aliens in the game, and getting your story from terminals instead of watching cutscenes and getting a bunch of text. The new Marathon has the same things. And before anybody says, "Oh, we didn't see any 4, we didn't see any Sfit," we definitely saw Sfit. We saw Sfit 2 years ago, and now we saw Sfit again in the most recent cinematic trailer. All I'm saying is, can we relax? You can dislike the game. You can even say that you're not going to play it. I understand it's an extraction shooter. Not everybody's going to want to play that. But to just go crazy and call Hidden Xperia and Mints and all these other YouTubers dick riders and say that Bungie's a bunch of assholes and that you hope the game dies, and if you want to play Marathon, you're a dickhead. Dude, chill out. It's a video game, bro. And we haven't even seen it yet. None of us have played it yet. We don't know anything about it. So can we relax? The reason why I'm going to bat about this stuff is these are people, these are communities that I care about. This Halo community has been here forever. Marathon, forever. Destiny has been here for a long time. At least, well, for 10 years. This community's been here for 10 years. And to see these people who have barely gotten into these communities or not even in them at all, you know, oh, I played Halo 3 when I was 7 and I haven't played a Halo game since, or oh, I played Infinite for 20 minutes and I didn't like it. Don't sit here and talk to these pillars of our communities and other people in our communities like they don't mean shit. And you're being like extremely disrespectful. Bro, there's no reason to do all that. And of course, some of y'all are probably going to do it. And some people that might see this video, y'all are probably going to hit the comment section and call me a dickhead or call me a dick rider. It is what it is. But bro, seriously, like sit back and consider how toxic you are being. Games are so fucking toxic now. And the last video I made was about toxicity in games. Bro, chill. Can we get the game? In September, we'll see how ass it is. When the alpha comes out on April 23rd, we'll see how ass it is. We'll compare it then. If you get into the alpha, if you care that much, play the alpha and see if you really won't like it. If you don't care that much, stop telling everybody else that they're dumb and stop talking about the YouTubers and people, pillars of our community that we care about, and stop disliking their shit and leaving fucking shitty ass comments for no reason. Like, bro, it makes no sense. All of your comments are personal attacks. Hardly any of them are actual gripes. If you have an actual gripe, it is what it is, nigga. Like, bro, you can see things that you don't like. The art style is outlandish. I can see why you wouldn't like it. Me personally, I don't mind it. And I know a lot of people say they wanted it to be more gritty like the original Marathon, but the only reason why the original Marathon was so gritty is because it was in the 90s. There wasn't much they could go off of. But if you see like concept art and even some of the character sprites in the game, there was some colorful shit. The alien technology was very colorful. So, I don't know, bro. That being said, do whatever you want. At the end of the day, your opinions are your opinions, and I'm not going to hate on you for that. But please, try to be a little bit more cordial about it. Try to have a little bit more respect for these communities and these people in these communities. It's not that deep, bro. You don't have to personally attack people and try to review bomb things and hate bomb things and make try to rally people to hate things just because you're not happy that you didn't get a game that you wanted so badly. That's great, bro. There's other corporations that we could be talking about, like Nintendo making us buy a shitty ass Switch to play a new Bloodborne game. That's ass. Or Assassin's Creed not even having one-shot assassinations anymore and having all these RPG elements. Like, that's ass. That type of shit deserves it. Not fucking Marathon. That's like, it's been in development for a long time. And the people who made Halo and people who worked on Marathon and Halo are working on the Marathon game, bro. Like, chill. It'll be alright. I feel like at the very least, as a video game itself, it will not be bad. So, that being said, you know, it's whatever. Have your opinions, do whatever. Just please be respectful about it. And I'll catch you guys with some streams later this week and stuff like that. I've had a lot of college work and other things going on. I've been very busy, but we'll get to it. So, that being said, y'all take it easy, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.